There's no American citizens have been arrested or detained. We focus on those that are here illegally, and anything that you would hear or report that would be different than that is simply not true and false reporting.
Arrested and detained are actually some of the least abusive actions ICE agents have taken against American citizens because they are now bragging about shooting us and using tear gas, quote, for fun on American protesters. But a judge's ruling may be putting an end to all of that soon. We can only hope. So before we dive into that, though, I want to quickly correct what Kristi Noem lied about right there. ProPublica found more than 170 examples of US citizens who have been held by immigration agents. They have been kicked, dragged, and detained for days. And that's, again, American citizens. Their treatment of Americans in Chicago has been so bad that a judge banned them from using any force going forward. So the judge bans the use of force for Trump Chicago blitz and accuses top border officials of lying in court. So let's address some of those actions that the judge says shocks the conscience. Last month in Chicago, agents used tear gas in residential areas multiple times without audible warnings, court documents said, surprising families with a painful chemical irritant. Footage taken by Customs and Border Patrol illustrates the extent of their own gleeful violence, with one agent at one point telling another that they should throw the tear gas canisters for fun. Escalating even from tear gas, this headline from the Washington Post says, texts appear to show border control agent bragging about shooting a woman in Chicago. Text messages sent by a border patrol agent appear to show he bragged to colleagues about his shooting skills after wounding a woman charged with assaulting a federal officer in Chicago. This is the case where ICE claims the person who was shot had sideswiped ICE's vehicle before trying to run the agents over, which led to them firing on the woman. She has submitted court documents asserting that it was actually Border Patrol that swerved into her and sideswiped her vehicle. And in the text, Agent Exum wrote that he had an amendment to add to his story. I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. Put that in your book, boys. When questioned Wednesday by Chris Parente, an attorney for Martinez, Exum testified that he's a firearms instructor and I take pride in my shooting skills. And this is not just happening in Chicago, by the way. In Portland, Oregon, mistaken friendly fire between federal agents last month escalated their retaliation against anti-ICE protesters, resulting in officers firing a barrage of rubber bullets into a crowd that also contained local law enforcement, according to the city's police commander. And this is so jarring to read. I know that it's hard to listen to for you guys, and it sucks having to report on stories like this, but this is what's really going on in our cities, in our American cities across this country, and it's being done to American people by other Americans. But there was probably a reason why Donald Trump decided to pardon all of those January 6th insurrectionists. He probably had a plan to do exactly what he's doing right now. And he probably knew that if ICE is trying to recruit for their on the ground, boots on the ground team, that a lot of these insurrectionists would probably love to sign up, get those 6-figure salaries, get those signing bonuses, get all that healthcare, their tuition reimbursement, whatever, just get all of it. All of that to do this to other American people. And they really are kind of psychotic, Waz. Like, who brags about shooting people and has no sense of remorse about it? That's just like, there's no humanity in these people.
Yeah, I don't think we should be surprised, man. When you even look at the recruiting ads that they put out, some of it was like, the cops have been restrained from doing what they do, but no more, which, again, if you think cops in America don't have the abilities to do what they want to do, and you think that you need to go further than American police do, is quite hilarious. And then, so again, no real qualifications besides wanting to bash skulls of immigrants and brown people. And also, more importantly to me, there's no training. There's no protocol. They're basically out there just freestyling, which is the most dangerous stuff ever. At least with the police, we know they go through I mean, I know with like NYPD, for instance, where I was born and raised, we know they go through extensive training.
Mhm.
Like you go to the academy, you do all of this stuff. That's not the case with ICE. You get hired and you get your ICE badge and you just go out and start wreaking havoc on blue cities and just that's the job. So we
Mhm.
shouldn't be surprised that things are going terribly wrong. And you need to understand, look, I'm not somebody who judges people by the job that they choose, but like, my God, if you became an ICE agent, I get it. Some people did it for money. It is a nice financial opportunity for some people, but a lot of people did it because they're allowed to abuse, the level of force that they're allowed to use. And again, we shouldn't be surprised the people that will gravitate to this type of job are abusing their authority.